Welcome back, Budget Gamer fans. Today I've got a pretty awesome game for you called Reynard. Now I want to start off by saying this game isn't actually available on the Switch yet, so I have included the link for where you can download it or purchase it in the comments below. Also, if you watch the review and think you might be interested in actually playing Reynard, stay tuned till the end for the details on the giveaway. That's right, the amazing people at HyperFox actually gave me a free download code to give away to one of my subscribers. So if you're into those extremely challenging roguelike adventure games like Wizard of Legend or Enter the Gungeon, you may want to stick around to see if you can get a copy of Reynard for yourself. As I already mentioned, Reynard is a roguelike adventure game, and all of the fast, real-time dynamics of combat that you might expect from roguelike are definitely represented here. The story in Reynard is that this island where everyone seems to live has actually benefited from some shard being dropped into their spring. And after drinking from this spring for a number of years, the animals on the island have actually gained sentience. And it seems that along with the ability to have thought and conversation, some darker aspects also came through the mix. This becomes clear when you engage the little pig NPC right outside of your house who tells you that his bride has been stolen away into the foxhole. The foxhole actually being a nearly endless dungeon of spontaneously generated levels with a massive plethora of mobs as well as boss characters. However, it wasn't until I had actually ground out that first dungeon for over 3 hours to build up the stats of my character that I realized there's more to the game than just grinding through mobs and beating bosses. At the end of each boss fight, you're actually introduced to a tower defender portion of the game. Now, while tower defenders and roguelikes probably aren't a genre most people could imagine being combined, Reynard actually manages to make the tower defender portion of the game just as difficult as the roguelike adventure itself. As you work your way through the 3-story dungeon of the foxhole to eventually get to the boss, you work to crush the countless mobs in procedurally generated levels. Moving from room to room, you gain experience, consumable items, and even weapons. But while this may not strike you as anything new from any other roguelike adventure game, there are a few other aspects that aren't exactly advertised in the gameplay. In certain rooms, you find stone tablets in the floor that actually allow you to combine items to be double the strength they were before. This not only counts for potions, but ward talismans and attack talismans, as well as spellbooks. While potions are definitely typical of the genre and help you refill your HP, attack and defense talismans boost your defense to certain characteristics and actually add attributes to your standard attack. And powering these up can prove invaluable in certain aspects of gameplay. And as they are a random drop from mob kills all throughout the dungeon, it's actually possible to power them up really high. Spellbooks, on the other hand, are actually a really unique item. Finding a hidden staircase under a broken pot will actually take you into some underground library. There's generally only one per floor in the dungeon, and the types of books around are also spontaneously generated. Of the 4 different types of spell books, which are geared to either augmenting or increasing your HP or stamina, increasing the number or stats of a buddy character, or increasing the amount or frequency of gold dropped in the game. Of the 4 types of spell books, there are actually 6 different tiers with 6 different effects on your character. And just like potions, if you combine 2 of the exact same type, they double up and move to the next level. Now, while this may seem either unique or useless because there's only 3 floors before you get to the boss, this brings us to another element of the game that might not be immediately apparent. The old gnome character that you meet immediately in the village is actually always outside of the red staircase leading to the boss. And if you confront this character, he'll ask you if you want to spend 50 gold for him to show you some unexplored rooms. This essentially allows you to slay even more monsters for more experience, more gold, allow you to uncover more hidden archives, and more weapons and armor chests. So if you were off to a good start and you can possibly take that 3rd level of the dungeon again, this is the way that you make your character OP in any way you see fit. When I finally figured out these tricks of combining items and playing the final floor over again, I was actually able to go into the first boss and completely HP tank it. But that brings us to the actual tower defender portion of the game. On my first playthrough, making it past the first boss, I was so excited with my HP tank character that I dove straight into the tower defender portion and failed epically. I hadn't considered that I'd need to save gold to build up the defenses, and HP really wasn't useful when I was getting mobbed by hundreds of characters at the same time. And just like all true roguelike adventures, when you die, you start over. But the best part is that when you die and start over after having made it just a little bit further in the game, you're inspired, not frustrated. And I believe it's actually a lot of the pixel art, quirky characters, and really excellent soundtrack that go a long way in making that true. As Reynard does have 3 different floor types with 3 different bosses and those tower defender portions, it's likely that you'll be playing this game for a long time before actually making it to the end. So having really great music and soundtrack and a really well balanced control system are huge assets to the player in continuing to play the game. The control system in Reynard is really well balanced and feels very intuitive, but as this has actually been developed for PC and hasn't made it to Switch yet, that more depends on how comfortable you are with your keyboard. But like most computer games produced by considerate developers, all keys are actually remappable, which means that when I finally figured out I could remap all the buttons to a Pro controller, this game became incredibly enjoyable. I mean, don't get me wrong, it wasn't like I didn't enjoy it on the computer, it's just that when I actually had a Pro controller in my hand and kicked back on a big screen like I was playing on a Switch in docked mode, the game turned into a whole different animal for me. And even though I will never pretend to be good at these types of games, games, 5 or 6 hours had blown by. It went from being an indie to probably the most difficult NES game I had ever played in my life. If you are a PC gamer or you're a fan of emulators for NES and NES, this is probably one you'll at least be interested in seeing because it definitely has that feel. Or if you're just into pixel art games or already a die-hard fan of the roguelike adventure genre, this is definitely one that will easily earn its spot in your collection. The game seems like it would have a lot of replay value as the characters can be built any way you want, and the developers are actually pretty on it as far as updates are concerned, so $5 or $6 for that much entertainment probably isn't a bad deal. But like I said earlier, a lucky one of you will actually get this game for free. And all I'm gonna ask you to do to win it is like the video and comment down below with what your favorite video game is and what is so amazing about it. If you're like me, games become a part of your life because they inspire you in certain ways and maybe even make you think about the world in a different way. In all honesty, I just kind of want to know who you are and read some of your stories. Well, that about wraps up the review for Reynard, and if you want to be entered into the contest for the free game copy, feel free to like the video and leave a comment below for what your favorite game is and what drew you to it in the first place, what it means to you. And as always, don't forget to click that little bell icon when you subscribe to stay updated with the latest games and content, because there's always something new to find on the Budget Gamer channel. Anyway, this has been Budget Gamer, and as always, thanks for watching.